Well, the main question of the podcast is I ask every single guest, I would love to hear a story or stories where you feel
Mm.
like you've witnessed something that was magical or something that was miraculous. It could have happened to you, you could have witnessed it. Anything that you'd like to share with my listeners.
Oh my goodness. Magical things are happening all the time to me. Well, let me just say this first. My definition of magic is anything that I don't yet understand the workings of. Something maybe that I could not have predicted or don't understand the workings of. I think that at some point, the fact that we can sit here, I can look you in the face in real time and you can hear me speak. I don't know where you are on the planet. You could be thousands of miles away. Um, and I can speak to you. 100 years ago, people would have called that sorcery. There's so many things that we're able to do. A recorded voice. Some people would have called that sorcery 1,000 years ago. Right? So, magic is simply the things we don't yet understand. And the key word there is yet. And we are evolving constantly. So, that. So, let's see. What magical thing happened to me that I could share? Oh my gosh, so many. Oh, how about a love story? How about a love story? That'll be good. So, in my 20s, I decided to move to Germany. I have an uncle who he's no longer with us, but he was stationed in Germany in the 60s and 70s. And he fell in love and he married a German woman, and they had three children together. And he ended up staying in Germany and he became a famous fashion photographer. And so in my 20s, I was looking for a way to get out of Compton. I didn't have a lot of opportunities. This is in the 80s, in the late 80s, early 90s. There weren't a lot of opportunities for work and career and things like that. And I was feeling a bit lost. And so I decided to move to Germany and kind of hang out with my uncle and my cousins for a while and see what happens. Well, he said to me, "Don't come just yet. You need to have a plan. What do you want to do with yourself?" I'm like, "I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know." Well, he's like, "Well, you didn't finish school. What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I'm in beauty school right now because I thought that would be fun." And so I finished beauty school, and he's like, "Yeah, but this is just one of those little Maranello beauty schools. They don't really teach you art and science and all that kind of stuff. It's just like how to pass the state exam. That's not good enough. What do you want? You're going to do it? You're going to really do it. You need to master it. So what are you going to do about that?" I was so devastated. I'm like, "I don't know what I'm going to do about that." So, so that night I prayed. I said to God, I said, "Please show me what to do. I do want to be a master of whatever it is that I decide to do with my life. So please, I'm asking you, show me the way." The next day, I got a call from my mom. She said that the church that she was playing for, um, that this is around the same time of the Rodney King riots. This is right after Rodney King happened. Um, she said, "Vidal Sassoon is coming to our church on Sunday, and he's creating a scholarship for the Sassoon Academy, which is a 10-month program. It's like $15,000, and it's like the top of the line, the best school in the world you could go to for hair cutting and hair design and all of this, right?" So I showed up and I applied for the thing. There were 3,000 people who applied, and I was one of the 13 people they chose. And so I got my little scholarship. I didn't have a car. I was living in Compton still, and it's about an hour and a half bus ride to Santa Monica, where the school was. And first week of school was just like a nightmare because I didn't have the money for the equipment, and I didn't have a car, and it was just really harsh, like 3 hours on a bus round trip. And I prayed again. I'm like, I need some solutions. I'm not gonna make it. They called me, the school called me up and said that they were donating my tools the next day. And one of my family members said they had a car I could have. I hadn't even, by the way, told anyone that any of this was a problem. I was still pretty young and naive and didn't really have I was still kind of embarrassed about not having everything in order. Um, I didn't know to just say, I need this. So people were coming out of the woodwork to help me. And a couple of people, donated some money so that I would have gas money and money for parking. And it just all kind of fell into place. Um, Halfway through the program, Vidal Sassoon decided to offer me funding to start my own salon. And I ended up turning it down and moving to Germany. So I moved to Germany, joined a joined an agency for makeup artists and hairstylists, and ended up having my work shown. I'm saying this is all happening within a 3-year period. Having my work shown in Italian Vogue, and I did work for Chanel and uh, Gautier, and I mean, you just name it. All the famous photographers I worked with over there, and of course, with some help from my uncle, who was a fashion photographer. So he helped me out a little bit there. But he insisted before I came that I actually have a real and solid plan, all of which felt very much impossible. So this particular experience changed me in such a way that I am really annoying to people who say I can't to me. So the number of times people have said to me that I'm gaslighting them or that I'm not listening, I'm like, no, I'm actually listening. And I believe you when you say that. I believe that that's what you believe, but I'm telling you, you're mistaken. And you actually can do whatever you want. The thing is, do you want it? If you don't want it enough to do whatever it's going to take to get it, then you're right. You can't. So, I know it's kind of cliche, but people say, never say can't. And I never say can't. I'll either say I will not, um, or I'll say I don't know how, or anything, but I can't. Incapacity is not a word that I use. So when I'm dealing with people who are oppressed, this is a big deal. Um, when I'm dealing with people who don't know they're oppressed and who typically we think of as the oppressor, that's a really big deal because we all have that. That's what oppression does to you. It tells you you can't do this or that. And there's always a way. And it's interesting during Black History Month, I'm sharing all of these stories about Black people who did all these amazing things. I'm like, oh my God, they created that? Like everybody uses that. What? They invented that too? Oh my gosh. And the teachers that are helping me teach this course, um, or they're historians and sociologists and psychologists and African studies specialists, and they teach 20,000 years uh, of the history of Black people and the history of oppression. And you would not believe the things that Black people have invented that came out of Africa. And, and, and so, I think about all of that in the context of white supremacy, in the context of slavery, in the context of my people's history. There's nothing I cannot do.